Hey, how's it going, everybody? Just going to show you this one item here, the Walkman that I found, which is not made by Sony. This one's made by Soundesign, but after spending multiple hours online trying to find an exact match to this, going by the type it is, serial number or model number, on how it looks and everything, all I was able to find so far was one dude here showing off his collection on YouTube to where he's got one that looks like it, but I'm thinking it's a different brand to where maybe Sound Design partnered up with another company, and then same thing with the other where it was just somebody's collection where they were showing off pictures. Where a good picture, I cannot remember the damn company that makes it. One of those oddball ones that probably didn't last long or whatever, or maybe even another country. But that's as close as I could get. I could not find an exact match. So I'm thinking this is pretty rare, not just because I'm having a very hard time finding one, also because I got a cassette tape same time I was at Goodwill to test this with, which I'm not going to put it in because that's one of the problems. Got some salt and pepper. 80s. Close enough. So I think that's one of their later ones from the 90s. And it will play the tape. The AM/FM radio works good. Everything works good on when it's playing stuff. It's just what happened is the little spring that pushes up the play button bit the dust. It's one of them where it's not just a spring coiled type. It's the wire type thing where it goes together like this, like a tension type spring. It's how they had it in there, which I'm thinking broke a lot on these, on why I may not be finding many at all. So, on with the show here. As I can keep guessing, but until I hear from somebody that has one, I don't know. But pretty cool looking. Looks like a miniature boombox from the 80s, but Walkman style with detachable speakers. Just like the old 80s boomboxes or ghetto blasters. And I just hit the fucking play button again. Real touchy. Show it to you like this. And this video is probably making it look a lot better than it is. The red plastic areas, kind of see there, or not. It's a little scuffed up here and there, but no breaks or dents. Anyways, to show you how this thing works, on the way they did the speakers, take this one off. Each one of them has two little loops of hard wire sticking out the sides, which are spring loaded. And then they hit a couple of metal plates to make the positive and negative contact. Anyways, that's how it powers the speakers when you want to keep it like this. And then the bottom of each one has a little locking mechanism that just slides, and then that keeps it from sliding up. Otherwise, have this plugged into it. So if you want to have them out, hung up on a wall, or just separated, spread out, whatever, plug this in. And then has a jack for each speaker. So you can detach them. Have a little bit of length there. They're just pretty unique for what it is, man. I just wish it was a better brand. On how many batteries it takes, it just takes a couple of AA. Otherwise, it does have jack on the back of it or whatever, where you can plug in a 4.5 volt DC power supply. Looks like negative to the center, positive to the outside, and it's one of the newer type jacks that it takes, so I don't know. I got some multi ones. I just don't know if I have any that go down that low on the voltage. Otherwise, it only takes 2 batteries. Nice. On top here, got play, stop, eject, fast forward, rewind. And then your little operation light that comes on to tell you it's working, and then your switch, which when it's on tape or whatever, that is off, and then once you turn it to AM, FM, it turns it on for the radio or whatever. And you can hang the speakers on this one. As you can see, it's got the little indents there to hang it on a nail or whatever, or screw. So, on what broke, see if we can point this out to you guys. Yeah. There's a metal post there that just holds the tape in place, kind of like a guide. Just below that, there was a tiny little plastic peg. Hint, hint on how easily this fucking thing broke, man. It just did it on its own. Just playing. I got it to play for about maybe 3 minutes, then all of a sudden I hear ting, and it was still playing, but I couldn't shut it off until I got in here with a knife and kind of pushed the play button back up. Anyways, little plastic post about right there, holding on one of those tension type springs where it's like a bent piece of wire or wire with a loop in it, where one piece hits one spot, another piece hits another thing, which would be right there. So when you push down the play button, when you hit stop, it makes it go back up. So fortunately, it's all out in the open. When it broke, the little parts fell down inside the door there, so I didn't lose anything. I tried to glue on that little plastic peg with some really strong super glue, like the stuff they use for models that literally eats into the plastic. It just snapped back off. So just poor quality on that. Otherwise, it still works good. Correct. Turn on the radio here. See, still works. But I think what I'm going to have to do is find a small screw, as the little peg left a little indent, like a divot in the plastic. So I got a guide for a small drill, or might even get a thick paper clip and cut a little piece off and just heat it up and stick it in there and melt it in place. It just depends on what sounds like it'll work the best. And then figure out some kind of a little hook or whatever. Might even work with a small nail, just heat it up so the head of the nail will keep that thing from sliding off. So that's all it is, man. It's just a little post to hold that in place. But I don't know why they use plastic. Usually they are metal in these Walkmans because you're putting tension against it. And if I showed it to you, man, it's like the size of a tiny, tiny little pebble. Just stupid. So, on that, another close-up here. And I'm not going to totally give up yet. I tried just outright searching for it on Google and Yahoo and whatnot, and did picture searches and whatnot, and like I say, I only found a couple of them that were made by a different manufacturer, but exactly the same make, to where it's just different labeling. But what I'm going to do is just start watching people's collection videos here and see if I can find somebody that might possibly have one. So this guy that did have one of the oddballs, I just messaged him. The video was old, so hopefully he'll get back to me if he's still doing videos and let me know, at least for the type he has, on how old it is, because I'm figuring same date for whatever time in the 80s it was made, which I'm kind of guessing early 80s, because the volume doesn't get all loud on that like a lot of the later Walkmans. It's pretty damn low. I haven't tried a headset on it yet or whatever, or earphones, but it's not very loud with the speakers there. And I remember that was some of the early 80s Walkmans when they were still trying to perfect the technology, and none of them had very loud volume. In fact, the first CD player That was a Walkman style that I got back in the day. That was an oddball. Same thing. Really low volume levels. So if any of you guys have one of these, man, send me a message, put in a comment, whatever. I will greatly appreciate it. Just one more look at it. And I'm going to do this in case somebody finds one without the speakers, just to show how big it is. Because may end up finding it like this if somebody lost the speakers. It's pretty much the size of a regular old Walkman. So cool. Cool if anything, man. Like everything I've been finding at Goodwill lately, definitely worth what I paid for it. It's like, man, it's like, it's looking at their new chart and it's confusing as hell, man. It's going to drive the employees there out of their fucking minds. It's like, I think it's $1.60 or $1.65 now for clothing on price per pound. And then everything else is all categorized like toys, electronics, this, that, and the other. And then it's like 25 cents and up, to where they have to literally look at this stupid chart every time instead of just weighing it and giving you a price. But it has saved money. I can definitely see how you can make money off of this Goodwill. A lot of people that are hitting it up do. As I've already found items that are worth hundreds there for less than a couple of bucks sometimes. Like the last Walkman. So, catch y'all later. I will have another video up soon enough. I'm not feeling all that good, man. I just had an adjustment yesterday from my chiropractor, and I feel like hammered shit. So, pain pills wearing off, so I just wanted to show off this. I'll show the other stuff I found later, because I found some other cool things. Just got to get to feeling better. So, have a good one, everybody. Good weekend.